So here's something that doesn't get talked about enough. In 2024, the South African mining industry recorded 42 fatalities. That's still 42 too many. The lowest number ever recorded in the history of South African mining was recorded this year. And a big part of why that number is coming down, I believe, has to do with technology, AI, automation, yes, better safety practices, but one cannot ignore the advances that have been made from a technology perspective. Technology that's pulling people out of the most dangerous places in a mine. But here's the tension, and this is what I want to dig into today. The very same technology that's saving lives is also reshaping what the mining workforce looks like. And not everyone's going to come out of that transition in a better position. We need to be realistic about that. What's actually happening, what's coming, and what do we need to do to get things right? First, for some context, South African mining is not the same industry it was 30, 40, even 20 years ago. The easy ore is gone. Every geologist, every mining engineer you talk to will tell you the exact same thing. Mines are going deeper. Some gold operations are approaching 4 kilometers underground. Ore grades are declining, and at the same time, food costs, electricity, water, labor, these keep climbing, way above inflation in some instances. And so the economic case for technology, specifically AI, is not some nice to have innovation story. It's actually for survival purposes. Companies are looking at AI-driven predictive maintenance that can cut equipment downtime by up to 50% in some instances. When a single hour of downtime on a critical hoist or mill can cost millions of rands, those numbers matter. And it goes way beyond maintenance. AI is being used for precision mining, identifying and separating waste rock before it even enters the crushing process. That directly reduces your energy consumption per ton of metal produced. In a country where electricity is both expensive and unreliable, that can be a game changer. The conversation has shifted from should we adopt this to how fast can we move? And it's very interesting in the mining sector where even when the whole sector knows there's better technology, the bureaucracy, the red tape, the Mine Health and Safety Act considerations, those things do lead to a very slow pace of adoption. But let me carry on and give you some real examples of what this looks like in practice. In the Northern Cape, Anglo-American's Kumba Iron Ore at Sishen and Colomela has deployed autonomous haulage systems. These are trucks with no drivers. They don't need shift changes. They don't need fatigue breaks. They run on near continuous cycles. Colomela reported a 7% increase in production in 2025. And a lot of that comes down to the consistency of those autonomous cycles. Underground, you've got De Beers' Venetia mine, which transitioned from open pit to underground, running autonomous loaders and trucks from Sandvik. These machines operate in zones where no humans are present. They are supervised from an operations center on the surface using a full digital twin of the mine. Nice. Then there's the connectivity layer that makes all of this possible. Then Kwe Platinum Mine, through a partnership between Xinjiang Mining, MTN, and Huawei, built the region's first 5G-enabled smart mine. That's the ultra-low latency, under 10 milliseconds, you need to control heavy machinery remotely, in real time, deep underground. This has been an issue in the sector for so long, and it has stopped technology from advancing as fast as we thought it would. Let's maybe talk a bit about exploration and what's happening in that space. AI agents from initiatives like Stanford's Mineral X are treating the search for new deposits as a probabilistic game, constantly updating geological models and suggesting the next optimal drill location. Mining companies are even using generative AI to go back through decades of handwritten geological logs to find patterns that were once overlooked. Now, here's where it gets difficult. And I think it's important to be honest about this rather than just cheerleading the technology. The South African mining sector has historically been the employer of last resort for low-skilled labor. For communities across Limpopo, Mpumalanga, the Northern Cape, Northwest, a job at the mine was the path to a stable life. The research suggests that by about 2035, around 35% of current mining jobs could be automated. Wow, that's a big chunk. and half of the remaining roles will require significantly less physical human interaction. The profile of a miner is changing from a rock drill operator with physical stamina to a systems operator with digital literacy. We are already seeing this play out. Retrenchments notices have been issued at operations like Petra Diamonds, Venetia, citing the move to mechanized operations. When you replace a labor-intensive open pit with an automated underground system, the headcount per ton of ore just drops. Then there is what's being called the missing middle. Workers who are too young to retire. Many of these people don't have the metric certificates. The Mining Qualifications Authority, I believe, is running digital literacy programs, but the scale, we're talking targets of around 750 learners a year, just doesn't match the potential displacements of tens of thousands of jobs. The unions know this, and their leverage is eroding because the primary weapon of a union has always been the strike. Honestly, this doesn't hit as hard when the pit can run autonomously. At the same time, mining companies are framing automation as a safety initiative, taking people out of risk, which makes it very difficult for unions to oppose, even when it leads to job losses. Now, it's not all bleak. There are companies thinking about this differently. Sibanye Stillwater has reportedly has what they call a bionic strategy. Instead of replacing the worker, you augment them. Exoskeletons for heavy lifting, smartwatches for health monitoring, augmented reality visors for real-time information. The idea is to make the human miner safer and more productive, not to eliminate them. And that's arguably a much better fit for the South African context. On the safety side, the progress is genuinely impressive. The CSIR's rock pulse system uses AI to listen to the acoustic emissions of rock underground, detecting the subtle cracking sounds that come before a major seismic event. Sounds the human ear simply can't pick up. That's an early warning system that gives crews time to evacuate. Mining companies are also starting to extend their digital infrastructure, fiber, into surrounding communities. The thinking is that if the mine is building this connectivity anyway, they may as well share it. Give communities broadband access, boost digital literacy, and enable economic activity that is not dependent on the mine. That's a meaningful shift in how social and labor plans are being designed. So where does that leave us? The technology is not the problem. AI is making mines safer, more productive, more sustainable. That's real progress. But the social contract around mining in South Africa, the idea that mines provide mass employment and uplift communities, that contract is being rewritten. And right now, the rewriting is happening faster than the support structures can keep up. The reskilling programs are too small. The regulatory frameworks were written for a mechanical age, not a digital one. And the procurement systems that are supposed to benefit local communities are being bypassed because those communities don't have the technical capabilities that automated mines need. So the challenge for South Africa is not just to mine smart, it's to mine justly. And that's going to take deliberate effort from industry, from government and labor working together. Not at the pace of policy papers, but at the pace the technology is actually moving. I'd love to hear what you think. If you're in the industry, if you are in the mining community, if you're studying this, please drop a comment below. And if you found this useful, share with others. Till next time, I'm Aburengwi. Take care.